Yeah, hi guys, this is Pradeep Shivasto. Welcome to my channel. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about a buzzing word which is called content. Everywhere we hear about content, content, and content. So I thought, why not cover this topic because it's become so important and, everybody is talking about it. So that's the reason I'm covering this topic. I'm covering about content, I'm covering about content marketing, I'm covering about content supply chain. Okay, so that's the agenda of this entire video. I'm sure you will like it. If you like it, please do like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So first of all, what is content? See, content is any information, media or material that is created and shared online to engage and communicate with the target audience. सो कंटेंट जो है बेसिकली कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन हो, मीडिया हो, मटेरियल हो जो हम शेयर करते हैं ऑनलाइन टू द टारगेट ऑडियंस, जिससे हम कम्युनिकेट करते हैं या इन्फॉर्म करते हैं, उसको हम कंटेंट कहते हैं. सो कंटेंट इज ऑफ वाइड रेंज ऑफ फॉर्मेट्स. कंटेंट जो होते हैं वाइड रेंज ऑफ फॉर्मेट्स होते हैं. कुछ टेक्स्ट होते हैं, कुछ इमेजेस होते हैं, कुछ वीडियोस होते हैं, टेक्स्ट होते हैं और इंटरैक्टिव एलिमेंट्स होते हैं. So there are various types of contents. So content is basically a purpose of attracting, informing, entertaining and inspiring the intended audience. We can find this on various platforms such as websites, social media networks, blogs, podcasts, online publications and more. Why is content so important? Because it helps in playing a vital role in building your brand awareness, establishing thought leadership, driving traffic, generating leads and nurturing customer relationships. Yeah, so that is what about content. Where do you generally find about common things about content? So blogs is one. Blog posts and articles is where content is very important. Social media posts where content is very important. Social media posts means like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. Yeah, videos, you'll find in videos, Vimeo, and that are embedded in websites or social media or YouTube's. Yeah, infographics, visual representation of data, information and processes, and podcast. So podcast is also becoming very, very common nowadays, and people love to hear podcast. I'm sure you must be also hearing some topics interesting to you on podcast. And then is ebooks and guides. Ebooks is also becoming very, very important nowadays because it helps you in getting a lot more knowledge and expertise in a particular domain, and then case studies and testimonials. So these are the places. Also, so not to forget interactive content. So content is also used in places where it allows user engagement, like such as quizzes, surveys, calculators, interactive infographics, and all. So content has gained a lot of significance in the recent years. Okay, so this is about content. So what is content marketing? Content marketing is focusing on creating and distributing valuable and relevant content to attract and retain a clearly defined target audience. So simple. Yeah. So this is why is this all important? Because the approach is to provide value to the audience, right? And it is not only solely distributing, promoting your products. It is, so it has to provide value by creating and compelling and useful content. Businesses can build trust, establish expertise, and you can foster long-term relationships with your customers. So that's why content marketing has become so important, and you can hear about it at various places. In fact, content has become so important that there are institutes who are, probably giving you lessons on content writing, content marketing, and all those things. So the significance is become a very very important part all across. So let me come to the next important thing. What I'm going to touch upon is the content supply chain. Okay, so being a logistic guy, I wanted to touch upon this, and I'm sure you will like what I'm trying to say. So in a traditional supply chain, what happens? A traditional supply chain is procuring the raw material, taking it to the plant, getting into production, then into inventory, then into warehousing, distributing, and then getting into the end customer, consumer, and then other elements are there to it. So this is the entire thing. And what is an effective supply chain? It becomes effective and seamless supply chain. Then it is very very when it optimizes the supply and demand. So that's the traditional supply chain. Now what happens in content supply chain? So in content supply chain, the focus is on the entire process of optimizing the planning, the creation, the curation, the distribution of content about your brand and about your products. So balancing the supply and demand of content at all of the consumption points is the key. So that's why content supply chain is also become a significant part, which everybody or which every organization which is into content marketing and all this has to follow. So the content supply chain refers to the process of creating, managing and distributing content, as I told you, throughout an organization. So that's very important. So this has about the entire supply chain, if it is broken into steps, there are about 8 subsets to it. So let's discuss about all the subsets so that we understand what is content supply chain and why it is important. So the first part is content strategy. What is content strategy? It is defining the goals, the target audience, the messaging and the overall direction of the content. Okay, which is going to obviously include research, designing graphics and developing all those things, to create a complete content plan. The step is content creation. After you do the strategy, what do you do in content creation? This involves actually building and generating the actual content. Okay, it means it may mean including writing blog posts, articles, social media updates, producing videos, designing graphics, or developing other types of content based on whatever is your brand strategy. So that's what is content creation. So the third subset is content management. Once the content is created, it needs to be organized, it needs to be stored, and it has to be managed effectively. So content management system is oftenly used to store and categorize these kind of contents so that it is very easy to access and reuse. So that's what is content management. So the fourth step after content management is workflow and collaboration. So in a content supply chain, collaboration is crucial. Okay, so there are teams working on various things. So the team all needs to work in tandem and ensure smooth content creation, review, approval processes. So for which they use project management tools, task assignments and communication platforms so that it can facilitate for an efficient collaboration. The fifth subset is editing and quality assurance. So once you have done with the content and content creation and collaboration and all those things, you need to get into the editing part. So editing and quality assurance is important. So what happens in editing? It is checked, all the unnecessary elements are removed so that the content is correctly ready for publishing. Okay, and then the quality assurance checks are then done, which essentially means if there are any errors or anything has to be identified or rectified, that can be done. Okay, so the next step is publishing and distribution, which is the sixth part of the process. Once the content is finalized, you need to publish and distribute across various channels, maybe it's website, social media platforms, so wherever you want to do as per your brand strategy. So that is very very important. And the next step before the last step is analytics and performance management. Then you need to analyze how is your content doing, what is the performance, how do you evaluate the effectiveness, what is the feedback, what is the engagement, what is the conversion rates. This all will provide you insights for your future content creation. So this is also a very important and logical step in the entire process. And lastly, it is content maintenance and optimization. So you always need to maintain and optimize the content, because things changes over time, which may be which means efficiency, refreshing outdated information, improving search engine optimization, adapting content to the changing trends, etc., and the user preferences. So these all are the specific step and processes in the content supply chain, okay, based on your business, based on your industry, based on your target audience. So by implementing an effective complete supply chain, brands can streamline their content creation, ensure consistent quality, and maximize the impact on the content marketing efforts. So that's all about content supply chain. So if we do all this, you'll have a robust by having established a robust content supply chain. It will support you to have consistent and high quality content production for your branded business.